A new billboard campaign in the subway poses a big question. Brian Winkowski reports from Manhattan.
If you've been in the subway in Manhattan recently, you may have noticed large posters asking, "A million New Yorkers are good without God. Are you?" Some have called this campaign promoting atheism. The response from subway riders is as varied as New York is diverse.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine with me.
The ad, I don't believe, should be in public areas.
It looks like an ad for an airline.
My response to that is to agree with it, frankly. And I was really looking at it closely to see which organization was sponsoring it.
The campaign is the brainchild of the Big Apple Coalition of Reason, a group of organizations working to increase awareness of secular groups in the city. Michael Dodora is their spokesperson.
It's been a little disappointing that the media stuck this as kind of an atheist ad campaign. The point is really not just about, a million New Yorkers don't believe in God, do you? The point is that a million New Yorkers are good without God, and good is really the operative word there. Because we're talking about humanism, we're talking about positive, rational ethics.
The inspiration for the ad campaign is this book, Good Without God, What a Billion Non-Religious People Do Believe, by Greg Epstein. Epstein is the humanist chaplain at Harvard University, a blogger for Newsweek and The Washington Post, and the chair of the Academic Advisory Board of the Secular Student Alliance. I spoke with the Flushing, Queens native recently to find out more.
My upbringing in Flushing, Queens is really important to how I became a humanist, because I grew up in the most religiously diverse neighborhood, in the most religiously diverse city, in the most religiously diverse country in the world. And I saw every religion. I had friends who came from every religious background, and I was really curious about where they all came from and what was true. If everybody was from all these different backgrounds, I really asked a lot of questions, and I ultimately came to the conclusion that people are people. Human beings created religion. Humanism is what I do believe.
Tell me your response to the ad campaign, the billboard campaign that's in the subways.
Well, I'm excited about the Good Without God campaign on the subway, and the one just like it in the Boston subways, and the billboards that are very, very similar on the highways in major cities around the country, because it's a wonderful chance to provoke discussion and to start getting people to think, what does being good mean? What does it mean to live a good life? And what does it mean to be a humanist or a secular person or non-religious? And I think if we can have that conversation more often in society, if we can educate more and more people about humanism alongside educating them about religion, then people will be able to make their own decisions, and we'll all be the better for it. It's not to say that living a good life, being a good person is easy with or without God. But what it is to say is that we've got to put to rest this question of, can these millions and millions of people, who I would argue are just like everybody else, we're all struggling to find a good life, a good society, a good healthy family. We need to put that question of whether these people can be decent human beings to rest. It's a mistaken, misguided question, and it ultimately is prejudice.
Any particular reason why now?
In the past generation, according to the American Religious Identity Survey, the non-religious was the group in American society that increased its percentage in every single one of the 50 United States. And it's the only group by far that one can say that about. That young people are becoming non-religious or secular at an incredible rate. In fact, there was a study recently at Tufts University, which is sort of a typical good school in the Northeast, that said that 1 in every 3 freshmen at Tufts University describes him or herself as non-religious or secular. And so these numbers are really tremendous, and so people do want to know, why now? What is going on? What's this moment about? First of all, of course, we're becoming aware of more and more scientific answers to the questions that religion was once the only response to. The other reason that I discovered as a child growing up in Flushing is no one group is any better or any worse than anyone else. No one group seems to have access to some special divine truth that any other group is somehow lacking. We realize we need a more universal source of motivation. We need a more human-centered, this worldly sense of motivation. And that's humanism.
You say in the book that you write this as a call to action. What is the best case scenario of what would or might happen if readers heeded your call?
Well, I think that the time has come to build a humanist community and a humanist movement that can really help make this world one of greater purpose, greater compassion, and greater overall sense of human community. We're going to let the entire world know that there is a positive, progressive option for all these billion non-religious people so they can get involved in something and they don't have to feel victimized by the fact that the majority of the world was somehow against them. So yeah, I think that you'll see a world more and more in the coming generations where everyone will be aware, in the same way that they're aware of what is Christianity, what is Islam, what is Judaism, what is humanism. They'll be aware that humanism is good without God.